Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
The girl injured by an exploding can of hairspray is out of the hospital, and one of her first stops today was a visit to Detroit police. Glad you're with us for Local 4 News at 6. It has been quite an ordeal for 14-year-old Tanaja Brown.
It really has been. She's been at Children's Hospital since last Saturday after a can of hairspray exploded in her face as she was getting her hair done by an unlicensed stylist. Then the teen and her mom went and made sure Detroit police are aware of what took place. Sean Lay is live where this happened on the west side of Detroit on McNichols. Sean, good evening.
Good evening, Kimberly and Devin. It took us a couple of days because we thought Tanaja was injured at a salon on McNichols here on 6 Mile. No, we found it here at this clothing boutique. Nice shop, but way in the back is one chair where this person, unlicensed stylist, was doing hair. This is where the explosion took place, where Tanaja was badly injured. But here's the deal. Tonight, we've learned that stylist is booking appointments right now. Local 4 cameras are outside the Detroit Police 8th Precinct this afternoon to see 14-year-old Tanaja Brown walk out with her mother, Latima Johnson. Brown has been released from Children's Hospital, an exploding can of hairspray taking away vision in one of her eyes and shattered bones in her face. It happened here at the Spoil Me Rotten clothing boutique on 6 Mile. Brown was having her hair done by an Instagram hairstylist who did not have a license. The stylist admitted she placed the flammable hairspray on a curling iron heater, causing the can to explode in Brown's face. Mother and daughter making a police report today, wanting the stylist and the shop owner to be charged. Meanwhile, we can tell you the City of Detroit's Building, Safety, Engineering, and Environmental Department has shut the boutique down while the state can investigate the unlicensed hairstylist, and BSEED has identified the building's owner, and they have questions for him. Meanwhile, the incident has gotten attention from licensed hairstylists. A stylist reacting to what happened and posting her thoughts on YouTube.
A freak accident and explosion at a local hair salon.
Oh my goodness. Them irons are very, very, very hot. They're extremely hot. You just got to be extremely careful out here, you know, especially in a salon setting. You know, there's only so much sorry that could fix anything.
Back here live, yes, the stylist has apologized, but here, like today, we saw this on the stylist's Instagram page. Click book now. So the stylist now taking appointments. I am very sorry for the unfortunate events, but I still have to make ends meet. If the stylist is doing hair, it's not here. The city has shut this place down until the city and state can investigate. Back to you.
Sean, I understand now that you're learning Tanaja's mother is being harassed. Talk a little bit about that.
In her apologies, the stylist put text exchange with the mom on her Instagram page. She has a lot of followers, complete with the mom's phone number. People are now harassing her. She says she has to change her number right away.
Just awful. Okay, Sean, thanks.
President Biden is now the focus of a special counsel investigation over his handling of classified documents from his time as vice president. First documents were discovered back in November at an office building Biden had between the time he was vice president of the Obama administration and then his 2020 run for the White House. Well, earlier today, the president acknowledged more documents were found in his personal library and the garage of his home in Wilmington, Delaware. Today, Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed a U.S. attorney in Maryland to investigate.
People know I take classified documents and classified material seriously. The Department of Justice was immediately notified, and the lawyers arranged for the Department of Justice to take possession of the document. So we're going to see all this unfold. I'm confident. Thank you very much.
But I think Congress has to investigate this. Here's an individual that's been in office for more than 40 years. Here's an individual that sat on 60 Minutes that was so concerned about President Trump's documents locked in behind, and now we find it just as a vice president, keeping it for years out in the open in different locations.
The White House says it is confident the investigation will show the classified documents were, quote, inadvertently misplaced. Vice President Kamala Harris stopping in Ann Arbor for a conversation about climate change. She was at the University of Michigan to talk about the Biden administration's efforts to transform America's response to that challenge. Harris and Energy Secretary, former Governor Granholm, were also digging into how the battle against climate change impacts things like job creation, public health, and poverty.
Well, it's been an unusual week for students in Richmond. For the third time since the new year, threats have rocked the district, and today the threat forced the superintendent to cancel classes. Local 4's Rod Maloney is live with more on this story for us tonight. Rod.
Yeah, Kimberly, we spend most of the day in Richmond talking to parents, and it is a small town, and very few of them, in fact, none of them wanted to go on camera today. But many of them told us one thing: this all has to stop. Richmond's middle school sat silent today, as did all the district schools, and it's been a troubling norm since the start of the new year. The superintendent telling Local 4 a threat came in Wednesday night through the OK to Say platform, saying a middle school student claimed he intended to come to school with a gun and is not afraid to use it. Richmond police couldn't find the child last night, prompting today's closure. So today, detectives went to work talking to the middle schooler named and told Local 4 the child had no access to a gun. His parents were completely cooperative, and the child denied making the threat. They told us that they believe the report is unfounded. This threat of violence comes in the aftermath of one anti-Semitic death threat against a middle school staffer and his family, demanding he quit his job. That left school closed for a week. Then another teacher received an emailed threat similar to the first, demanding that teacher quit the district, but the schools opened the day after that. Then on Wednesday, Richmond police rushed to the middle school for two students fighting. The school resource officer had asked for backup, and when his radio call wasn't audible, officers arrived in force. Turns out that situation was under control when the other officers arrived. In the meantime, it begs the question, will schools be open in Richmond tomorrow? And the answer to that is yes. Back to you.
So Rod, has the district made any changes as far as school security is concerned?
Yes, they have. In fact, especially for parents in Richmond, you want to go onto the Richmond School District website. There is a new posting there by Brian Walmsley, the superintendent, who says that they are going to be having uniformed police officers in the schools. They have been there, and they're going to stay there through January 27th, and then they'll reassess at that point whether they still need more. But obviously things are on edge there, and so parents are looking for some belief that things are getting safe there, and they believe this will get the job done.
Yeah. Okay. Rod, we appreciate your report this evening. Meanwhile, all Taylor schools were closed today because of a threat made on social media. The city says someone posted a threat to Taylor High School on Instagram. It was identical to one posted several months ago with a stock photo of a BB gun. The city says school was canceled out of an abundance of caution. Police are completing a search warrant for the Instagram post and IP address.
Carvana concerns forcing a state investigation, and new tonight, the used car megastore is without a license here in Michigan. So what does that mean for previous and new customers? Our consumer investigator Hank Winchester live tonight with more, as customers are awfully concerned about this, Hank.
Yeah, Devin, and understandably so. I mean, this was a huge investigation by the Secretary of State here in Michigan, and you're right. Carvana now without a license here in this state, but guess what? You can still buy a car here in Michigan. Take a look.
Carvana. It's the cool, high-tech, no-hassle way to buy a car. Alicia Owen says she was in awe during her car delivery in Novi, capturing it all in this video. Since then, she says she's had nothing but problems.
I bragged on them when I first bought my vehicle because it was so hassle-free. And I didn't realize that I was not buying what I thought I was buying.
Alicia says beyond the mechanical issues, she says she's concerned about VIN number discrepancies.
They led me on to believe that the car that I purchased was not in any accidents or had a completely different VIN number.
Now Carvana surrendering its dealer license tied to the Novi location after an investigation focusing on titling, registration, and odometer issues here in Michigan. However, Michiganders can still buy vehicles online during the 3-year surrender period. A spokesperson for the Secretary of State saying, to save taxpayer dollars that would go to court fees, it is standard practice for our department to offer plea deals to dealerships that violate the law and are likely to have their licenses revoked. In a plea deal signed with our department, the Carvana dealership in Novi agreed it had violated the law and to have its dealer license revoked and be barred from reapplying for a new license for 3 years.
So if you bought a car at the Novi location from Carvana in the past, we are told that customer care and support continues moving forward. If you want to purchase a vehicle from Carvana and you live here in the state, you have to do that online. You don't get the cool delivery experience there where they kind of elevator the vehicle. The vehicle instead just delivered directly to you. We're live here tonight. Hank Winchester, help me, Hank. Local 4.
Yeah, all right, Hank. And we should mention here, Hank wants to hear directly from you. That's why he visited TV's Deli and Diner in Trenton today to hear about concerns and hear about stories that folks want investigated. Hank will be making more stops at small businesses and local communities throughout the year. And of course, you can always contact him at 313-634-WDIV. Help me, Hank, at WDIV.com or through our pages on Facebook or our account on Twitter.
If you were worried about having to give up your gas stove, the White House has some reassuring words for you. President Biden does not support the idea. Earlier this week, you may remember, Help Me Hank told us the Consumer Product Safety Commission was considering a ban on gas stoves because of health concerns, including links to asthma. Well, now the commission is backtracking a little. It says it is looking to address the risks. It will get public feedback, but it is not looking to ban gas stoves.
We're about to take a turn for a little colder, but still nothing close to Siberia or anything like that.
Oh, really mild again tonight, but you got some green that you're tracking there on the maps, Kim.
I do. It's really light, and it's for the most part on the east side, which is exactly where we expected it yesterday. Heavier on the east side, but even what's falling now is not that bad. It's just mostly drizzle, but we'll zoom in here for you. Ecorse, Riverview, Grosse Ile, Flat Rock. Getting light rain at this hour, also downtown Detroit. And then you go up to Warren and it's dry also in Sterling Heights, but the Grosse Points, Woods, Farms, and the city all getting light drizzle. This will be moving out, but after about 11 o'clock, if we get any drizzle at all, it could come down as freezing drizzle primarily north of M59 as temperatures will drop below freezing. 36 in Pontiac, 37 in Mount Clemens, upper 30s at City Airport. So the weather story will have a little drizzle, then a few snowflakes, nothing totaling up here in Metro Detroit, but there could be something a little further north in the thumb. A few flurries through Friday, and then sunshine returns in time for the weekend. With all this up and down weather, the best way for you to keep track of everything is to download the free Forewarn weather app. You can have interactive radar, all kinds of information right in the palm of your hand. Just go to your favorite app store, type in WDIV, and download the free Forewarn weather app.